we were faced with a situation where we were acting illegally and had to take steps. At the end of September, when the contract of the land CEO expired, the board resolved not to renew. I'm explaining it this thing so that it's clear understood that it was not out of malice, not out of any other reason except compliance with the prescripts that exist and that are applicable to the adult life. The board also then resolved that in the meantime, we are not going to find it easy to request any other entity of government to give us, or any organ of government to give us an acting person. But we opted to appoint from within the complement of management in ADA, and in that scope, we resolved to appoint the acting CEO, Mr. Siabonga Masi. So when he is here, he is now in that capacity. We have not asked him, or he agreed as well, and compliance with what needed to be done. We have not asked him to relinquish the position of COO, at least as yet. We are looking at whether it is possible to fill that position as quickly as possible, the position of the COO. We were waiting for some authorities, and those authorities are probably on their way. In my consultation with the office of the trainer, yes, it was key that the process could be resolved either yesterday or today. So we are in the process of appointing a CEO that could be almost full time for that contract period. I'm sorry, but I thought necessary because he's going to find it difficult to talk as CEO and not to dismiss himself at the same time. Thank you. That is fine. What will now respond? We will now go straight to item number 2.2. Of the MC is not really in the MC. Which is taking us through the fourth concept of the chair let's see this which ones. Trash and let's get like we are waiting to come. Yes. Alright, with the white plus setting out the projector, let's take the next
So we're slightly underachieved there. And then we also slightly underachieved in the percentage of actions completed in line with our food management communication plans. So the target achievement at the bottom line there under program 1, we achieved 6 out of the targets, and there were no targets that we considered. We achieved 6 out of 12. Under program 2, there were 75 training sessions that were facilitated with 597 individuals trained within the agribusiness sector. The overachievement was driven by facilitation of additional training via a virtual platform. In the way the COVID-19 assisted us in overachievement, we had to use virtual platforms. And then there were no challenges to topic, and that's what we see. And there were 4 indicators, and all of them were achieved. And at program 3, the number of enterprises in agribusiness in the sector 34, and then there were 78 enterprises that were supported. And then in the 19 youth-owned enterprises, they supported, and 39 million owned enterprises were supported. There was some other achievements in creating and sustaining jobs, however. This was as a result of some projects not being able to be supported due to some budget constraints, impact of the July 2021 unrest, and deferment of projects for implementation to the current financial year 2023. And then in program 4, all performance indicators were achieved, and additional 14.3 kilometers maintained to ensure functionality of the irrigation scheme and the irrigation canal, and there were 2 additional infrastructure equipment that were purchased to ensure the water supply to the irrigation scheme. And there were no challenges to reports. The 7 performance indicators were achieved. Let me just highlight though that in terms of program 4, which is mainly infrastructure, there was full achievement, but however, there was some impact on program 3, where some of the activities had to follow infrastructure preference, and there were very kind of agreed in terms of program 3. On the next slide is a summary of all the achievements. The non-achievements that are indicated. That's slide number 6. Program 1 had 12 planned indicators and only achieved 6, so only 50% was achieved. Program 2, there were 4. In fact, program 2, that's where we had overachievement. And then program 3, we had 89% achievement. The main one being the also. And then under program 4, we had 100% achievement. So in overall we had 32 planned indicators, and then 25 achieved, which brings us to 70%. The next slide talks to the individual programs details. In the previous slides, I was indicating the summary, and then in this one, now we are going into details in each of the programs. Finance and admin, can I, with the indulgence of the committee, only deal with the non-achieved of the voting, where we can see the voting. The percentage of suppliers paying invoices that were paid within 30 days, that's where it indicated that we were 99.5%. It's not achieved yet. We have 748 invoices out of 754 that were paid within the 30 days. the other 4 were as a result of concerns raised by management in terms of the amounts submitted. This happened in the quarter 1. And so in quarter 1 is where we failed to achieve our targets. And then percentage of actions completed in line with the approved IT implementation plan. We achieved 87% there, and then 13 out of 50 were achieved, and the others that were supposed to be achieved in the 4th quarter were not achieved. The moratorium was happened in the 4th quarter in terms of procurement. And then percentage of actions completed in line with the approved risk management plan. We achieved 85% there. 11 of 13 actions were completed, and then 2 were not achieved because these at the end of the year had not been reviewed by the relevant approved by the relevant committees. They were still done internally. And then in terms of number of funded actions occupied, 3 were not achieved. We are indicating that we had a vacant post of the legal manager for secretary and corporate services manager, which have not filled. And the percentage of actions completed in line with the approved marketing and communications plan, implementation plan, only 6 were achieved. The others were not achieved. Most of them had been planned for the 4th quarter, and there was one major one that was postponed to the 1st quarter, which was the agriculture. Was one which we achieved. And then number of partnerships established to support agribusiness. We achieved 50% of those, and the others had been drafted but had not been finalized at the end of So the 2 were amounted by active. Hence, we only got that exactly Program 2, comprehensive capacity building. I will not go through this one because the targets were either exceeded effective and so I will not. And then under program 3, enterprise and value chain development, the only target that was not achieved there is the target of jobs. That is like 11. Where the number of jobs supported in agribusiness and created were only 362 out of 171 that was planned. And the main reasons for that is that there were some, due to the unrest in July, and also some projects had to change their scopes and somewhere in the middle of the year, and then that caused some difficulties in the achievement of the target. The 4th one was infrastructure development, and we either achieved or exceeded the targets, so I will not go there. And that's the end of my speech.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Chair. I will be omitted one other matter when in the applications. Indicate that as I indicated to you, we have been handling matters here as before. because board are some committees of the board. We therefore came with the deputy chair because somebody has also chairs the human resources committee of the board. We have to member Dialect, we also a member of the board, a member of the Kadena, who currently assistant the chair, in the interim, not as yet appointed the chair of the audit and risk committee. There is a debate whether that should be an independent person or it should be pros and cons. We finalize that with the voter. We see, but he currently is the interim chair and has been at the forefront of ensuring that his management is there in properly. That's one of the advantages that we see. To show the side, this team, this side, that side, we have started with the two ladies who chairperson who and the Ranchangasa, sorry, the word for guys. And now that's a problem. The time the Ranchangasa in chairs the project and finance committee. That's the one that we the sitting with her is Miss completely. It's a lady that is one of us in presentation. Honestly, it's not received. And she not but in plan, this is board members were divided central number of people. Introducing them because if there are any recognitions they may want to recognition. The advantages for us was that the portfolio committee, therefore the board, should meet the portfolio committee first time. We were only appointed last year. I think it was August or September. So, therefore, we only concluded the year. I'm also because then I got really to have been. These are the team. This is the team that has been working before. I really feel that if anybody thinks there's anything to add, they call me. Check. Really. Just picked out things and but nonetheless, ask questions. If the question seems going to be on point, if you give us the custodian. It came up to train that some of the positions Some of the positions are not filled. And then the question is, those positions to our knowledge are funded positions. And they require a labor to fill because there is a budget to those effects. Number two, it also happens that there are some jobs created in a very interest land because of the to now management and example the society and government everything that is going I think it's over again. So that I don't think the next two is
which relates it's not great that they will be that's the blame and the Senate. They have no time. Thank you very much.
I'm still in the I can keep the difference before the other question. I will express my but on number one, one from the chairperson of the and then in terms of the position, the position has been advertised previously, but the challenge that age initially we advertised the position for 6 months, and then we did not get suitable candidates. So the process had to be added until the board decided that when we advertise, yes, the period we are in now, the process is in. And the next one on irregular expenditure, out of the 124, we have submitted 44 to provincial treasurer. Out of the 44, they have actually spoken about 7, and then the rest are still querying from 2 and 12. The main challenge that we are having with the following issue of querying is that we have to go back right to when the entity started, and we have challenges in finding some of the information that treasury requires. We have raised this with them, and they have set up a meeting, but it hasn't materialized. Materialized yet for us to discuss the The next one is the challenge where Treasury was saying our consequent management was not adequate. And We have a lot of ex-officials that have left and don't know where they are. And Trevor says we need to find them. The bit of a challenge, which are also discussing with them, and how we can basically people have left their employment, and also some that so they are ongoing like discussions. We also have been as communicated that we submitted and also in the process of being identified internally. About 30% of that has been completed internally. We go to the investment. And we are anticipating that we send it to what we reform segment. In terms of the achievement because of July 1st, most of our funding is project related. So we are creating those jobs through the projects that we fund. And upon deliberation with our beneficiaries, they indicated that they did suffer as a result of July 1st. They couldn't achieve some of the activities that they thought they would achieve on time. So some of them had to change direction and they tried and in fact, some of them did change their scope, which affected as well the number of grades of jobs. But on that one, I had requested my acting CEO to assist to taking change in this text.
Change. I don't know. You can look at job that we have present. So if you want to how many job has to take jobs in this. Moving from the giant popular and the by the side, they to change their possibility. Not to what supposed to be. Not the conditions, but those forms of that are being represented in the however, relating to each of the branches that was concentrated on doing by the Department of whatever jobs. As such, essentially, jobs continue, second, third, and other continue. So this challenge is no longer giving the solution here. Based on the budget of the change of plans and operations of the program target, the following way is together and the shows. Thanks. And it's just the past. And it's fine as an issue. Type of content that I'm not.
Yeah, that's full.
The presentation is just an update on the progress we started and we have delivered to problem statement achieve the production of and the agricultural chain. We are saving food security life at 40%. That is more acute amounts of men at 42%. Also, we have individualistic nature. Our 35,000 plus shop farmers are the ones that are producing and being white for the shop farmer. So there was an issue in the water where 95%, 98% of the parents. We are saying that what needs to actually happen is that we need an economic and industrialization and unfortunately encourage education of programs. And we feel that we are at the heart, they and more and the on the next slide, we are just looking at the in the implementation of what we have. It was a decision that was taken by the Executive Council, also an objective that falls within just content then also the establishing, for example, the support of the establishment of agricultural processing facilities. This announcement was also in the state of the and we go to the next slide, it's where we start the time. That we started with the pencils and our staff notes, which is and plans and screen that you can start platforms. So, in total, we establishing about as well as 35 sites established, mainly action areas in the that has their markets and access roads are. As hub, which is a very powerful, it had event, starting at the farm, farm, dog, 5 minutes per hour, around it. So, on the farm, there is identity, the area, everyone identified the site that is sold by the agency, everyone, and then the fresh purchase car, and the client in the state, and the first grade facility, everyone, and the second one, yesterday, in total, when this house are functional, filling our job, right, that's what invest in that's where it has some seasonal. In the next slide, we're just highlighting now the progress that we have made in the direction. established a steering committee that now guides the implementation of the hub. That steering committee consists of various players in government, entities, as well as private sector, and other various specialists. What has now happened to date is that we have done a project preparation, phases that needs to be undertaken. We've undertaken a technical feasibility study. We've developed a concept for us. We've also mapped the main things possible. And also evaluated and five specific sites where this comes. We've also done business plans, also financial models. Currently, we are busy with an application strategy, which I will talk to at a later stage, which now guides supply of material, because we can't be pipes, and then at the end of the day, so we're looking into production, where production happens, so that done special studies like the geotech studies, which some has been finalized and some are in progress. At the stage where we are looking at a streamlined arrangement that will then manage this hub. EIAs are also at the advanced stage. Source mobilization is also at an advanced stage. And once all this has to finalize, then construction can start. The next slide just alluded to the phases that are spoken to. There are 22 in total. Some have been. And on the next slide, it's when now we are talking about financing of the agriculture. When we did a study and a business plan and everything, we found out that what is actually needed is 3.1 billion that will be able to construct this hub. And if you look into the slide, just go to the next slide. If you look into the slide, it then details what each hub cost. For example, each hub will cost about 687 million. 382 and so forth and so forth. And we have also already started developing a cash flow as to when we receive funding, when are we going to start spending, and how much are we going to start spending. If everything goes according to plan, in 22-23, spending 34.68 of the budget, the total budget is 3.1. And I must also indicate, Chair, that this budget is structured into two. First part is the construction of the entire infrastructure of the agriculture. But we are saying construction the infrastructure, and we don't deal with the farmer support to render agri-hubs ineffective. So 1.1 billion of that amount will go into farmer support that will support the farmers so that they will build capacity to be able to supply their product to the farmers. In the next slide, it then indicates the progress that now we've made in sourcing this 3.1. We have engaged various funders, but the BFI, which is Budget Facility Infrastructure, that is administered by Treasury, are the ones that have shown appetite in funding the hub. So we've submitted all the information. We've even received a letter which indicates that our submissions meet all the technical items. It has been evaluated. So now it's going through the last stage of evaluation. Next slide. We have also registered the project within the presidential infrastructure. the funding for agriculture and agri-processing support. It is now listed as one of the catalytic projects in the country. And we do feel that this development will actually make sure that other participants in that committee will also help us in getting funding. Then on the next slide, it's where we deal with institutional arrangement. Now, just to explain this, the hubs are a business, and government by its nature doesn't run business. So we are looking at how that should be. But at the same time, if you take the hubs and give them entirely to the private sector, the people that you are trying to serve are going to suffer because the private sector will take their interest at heart. So we are looking into areas. When whoever is running or is spending the hub is paying, that money goes to the revenue fund. So it includes money. So we are looking at entities within the department and entities outside the department, and so on and so on. To look at a suitable entity that will help us. That entity must be a Schedule 3D and it must be sustainable. The government structure must be sound. It must have infrastructure and resources to operate the hub, and there should be expertise of infrastructure within that entity. And there should be governance and internal control. And its legal form should be trained. So we are evaluating all the entities with their flaws and strong point. We haven't finalized this, but we started to get. On the next slide, we are looking at an operational model as to how the hubs are going to run. First, we will have the government, which is the department that will still be offering services in terms of extension, veterinary support, training, input mechanizations, and then that department will then have an entity, either an internal entity or an outside entity that will then manage the hub on its behalf. If that entity, if the fund is granted a loan, it means then you have to establish special purpose vehicle that is going to be owned by that entity. A percentage, and the other percentage goes to whoever has funded. So there will be a special purpose that will be covered. We are also looking at the issue of the farmers now playing a very important role. One, they will play a role in terms of supplying the raw material to the hub. Two, we are looking at establishing a farmer trust so that they can also participate in the infrastructure that is the nature. But there are two options in this thing. First option is where it's in the next slide. I think we are far behind. In the next slide, we are looking at two options. It's an option where there's a loan component and a plan component. That will be administered differently because that's where then we introduce a special purpose vehicle where the government will own it. It will enter into an agency agreement with an entity within or outside that. That entity will then hold the stake for government. Then you will have an investor, whatever shareholding that they are, and they will form a special purpose vehicle that will govern the management of the hub. That is if there is a loan or an investor component. Then there is another option where there is where there is 100% grant. Then in that case, you don't need a special vehicle. You will then have the department. The department will then enter into an agency agreement with an entity, and then that entity will then appoint or governance and run the hub on behalf of as I indicated, we have analyzed the entities, we've analyzed our own entities, and we've analyzed entities that are outside. For example, the just the IDZ, which is SCPZ, and has one site, and one of our sites is within that. We've analyzed whether it can help us as well. Once the institutional arrangement that we are proposing, or once we have finalized making on the institutional arrangement, we will then take whatever entity that we will have that we are interested in. There will be a discussion with the accounting officers of those entities, and then ultimately it will be taken to the boards of those entities to take a determination, because ultimately the board at the end of the day has to take a resolution whether they are able to take an additional responsibility. Chair, as I go to the end, I just want to talk on the application strategy that I spoken about. The development of the application strategy was identified in various platforms, because as we develop this hub, the question arises, where are you going to get the sufficient throughput in the support? So we have to do an in-depth analysis. We have 5 phases. One is to confirm buy-in and support of the Agri-Hub program by farmers now, engaging farmers, organized agriculture, and other strategic partners. We have to develop a database of all the producers in the province. We have to do a mapping or georeferencing for production areas, specifically where production areas are looking at the potential risk. We have to cross-reference and fly across those production areas to determine where livestock is, where crop is, and so on and so forth. So we are at a stage where we are finalizing that report. We, just as an example, on the draft, we've analyzed the livestock part of the strategy, what is available in terms of stock. In terms of the hub that will be producing now, red meat, for example, when we look at the cattle, it will be slaughtering about 350 cattle per day. It will be slaughtering about so we've analyzed what is available in the province in terms of the livestock that is in the hands of our people. Looking at the feedlots that are there, as well as looking at extensive farming. So when we did an analysis, we found that currently about 97% of the supply is there, but that capacity can also be increased through application strategy. We have also looked at the risk in terms of the diseases now, separating the livestock that is in the disease management area because of foot and mouth, and the livestock that is in the interior where the foot and mouth is not prevalent. And then we are often the opinion that those have to be managed. So that means then the abattoir that is here in Banana needs to function to process the cattle. We have looked into and engaged various off-takers internally here in the province as well as external. One of the issues that was raised, particularly last year, is that about 65% of the products come outside of this province. So something means then the market is there for our people to be supply. And they made an undertaking that they will support the strategy. We've engaged McCain's, we've also engaged other international market like the Sun, the market at Kuwait, where they've shown an interest of support. This is just market, private, as well as the government market, where we have analyzed that. In terms of the risk, identified the risk of oversupply of product during peak seasons and undersupply during off seasons. We are saying that it should be a production plan, and production needs to be coordinated by the department to these catastrophic weather conditions. Is one of the issues. Explore insurance products, selection of anchor product site where they are not susceptible to the weather condition. This outbreak strategy needs to be developed and reinforced in the department. No support for farmers, working with other departments as well as implementing action strategy. In terms now of what needs to happen going forward, one, we have to finalize the institutional arrangement so that we can then enter into an agreement with whatever agency is led, the appointment of the agency, and also the investment roadshow that needs to happen so that we can interact with farmers and investors. Then, once all that is done, funding is confirmed, is obtained, and then construction started. Thank you.
Arranging for the election.
Indeed, it's a very encouraging, I would say, something is being present, but say it's very encouraging. Definitely what the chairman was said. The outside issue changed, but I think the issue of the audit committee chair, I would wish that from the outside we could participate that better people can offer as we progress with people and the best practices as well as things that issues because of that. So at the end of the day, you can get into a trend of probably taking a decision that at some point may compromise agent. That's very important. I want to check when the work that has been done, is it done by officials or it's outsourced it into consultants? I'm not undermining the capacity of the department, but I'm just curious to know if it is outsourced department, so that things will be done. Is there an existing model of these hubs, the country, or perhaps Africa? This hub would be the first of the kind. The in the location of these hubs, given, was there a condition of a logistical probably status as of now in terms of storage facility, transportation, and all of that? We have serious challenges of trucks as it stands now, being double hours. So these not be affected. I'm happy you have spoken about the issue of markets and risk. I've already noted them. What have you done in relation to that? Linked to your community plan, your work in terms of what could be the expectations and conversation. But I'm happy that there is also a huge element of power support, including somehow organizing them in a good way. People have to follow those things, but I think it's very encouraging. I hope we don't get funding in the region of the market. But if your package is attractive funders and this project also being recognized as a presidential project, I think that's what you said, or something to that effect. It's very encouraging because it means it may get support from the highest level of government and so on. And if this was to be successful, with an estimated 4,000 people getting opportunities directly in PRM from a huge dent into the current obviously through the country. So it's very encouraging, I'll say. Thank you very much. Second, teacher. Yes. That's the question. Thank you. Please, challenge. Let's attention. The real issue that we are dealing with monopolized this. And it's been a lot of mistakes. Even pricing. But trying to balance this schedule. People correcting the time. You must that. We have to that.
I'd like to put an emphasis on the farmer support. Our farmers will something things. And either way, it's the same thing that you might have said, because I'm putting it in another way. To say, is your target, because one presenting you said that this is a business of export. And if we are to create jobs and free our people and each other and open businesses. Most of the time, those people don't have money. So this thing of targeting what you bring that help must be very in mind, because the big plans, we're not putting again in this project. And lastly, don't know whether I heard when you said that there may be the pressure that we have with the amount of treatment. And then I have this and I think there is but for example, what about those from this area here, and from the state of the country, I think those are the things that